It's mid-July and it is deadly, deadly hot. As I stand here outside in the sunlight, you can see this. It is 47 degrees Celsius or 118 degrees Fahrenheit. Hot, hot, hot. That's the boreal summer. The boreal summer is hot and dry for a long period of time. But today, I don't really want to talk so much about temperature. I want to talk about microclimates and how amazing they are to have on your homestead, because they give you a place to spend time in or do other things in out of the extreme elements. So over the last 4 months, pretty much all spring and up until now, I've been chipping away at this forest area with my brother-in-law. And we have just cleared bush out of here for months, and it's been a ton of work. This is essentially a park. And as I walk in here into the shade, and there's a cool breeze blowing, it's always a little bit breezy here, which is lovely. The difference in temperature here is unbelievable. Check it out. So I got a thermostat here on the tree, and in here it is 32 degrees Celsius or 90 degrees Fahrenheit, but I'm in the shade. It is significantly cooler. You're just going, wow. You feel very, very comfortable, and it's amazing. Just on that alone, coming down and spending time here. So we've got this pond in here, and if you followed any of my videos last year, I did another pond, and I'll save that other one for another video. But it's been a real challenge because it's been leaking like crazy. But it all leaks down into this area, which is this pond was already here. And when we worked on it, all I did was pull the sediment that had been collecting up at this collecting here at this low point, pulled it out and actually used it as backfill for my house. And it was great because it was perfect, just clay, sandy soil with very few rocks actually. So it was great for that task. But yeah, we got this pond in here, and so that is helping keep it cool in here. And the temperature is obviously amazing, but we've built this in to basically be a park/beach. And of course, we've got the pond, which is swimmable. We've been swimming in it every day, sometimes twice a day now. Summertime, it's unbelievable. I actually have to top this up from my well. It's actually, at this moment, I've let it settle, and it seems to be holding here, but it about a foot higher than this, and it just slowly leaks. So I keep topping it up. And what I've built actually is check this out. You've probably seen these before if you're a farmer. It's a float valve, and it works just like in a toilet. And in it and it just floats up and closes a valve. And so it's off right now. I've turned it off. But if I turn this on, it's just going to be pumping water out of there until it fills up to about an inch below the bottom, an inch above the bottom of the bell. And then it stops. And so I've been using it to keep this pond topped up. But I'm letting it settle a bit lower just to see where it stops. And it seems to be around here. I also going to let it drain a bit so I can do a bit more landscaping here. You can see I've done some pretty cool stuff with rocks, and we'll go look at this deck in a minute, but it is amazing. Yeah, so I want to do some more landscaping in here. Another thing I did down here is I built a big French drain. This whole area is a French drain that goes, at this point, it's probably 2.5 feet deep in drain rock with a big 4-inch pipe that goes up and through there and goes to the bottom of the other pond. Main reason being is that's where the main water draw is here, and that little path there gets really muddy if I drive down here or even walk down here in the winter or shoulder seasons. So by putting that French drain in, the water just moves real quick into the pond, and it keeps that area from being muddy. I also put a bunch of drain rock and stuff in there too, so it stays dry and clean. I hate mud. That's one thing I've done on my property a lot of landscaping and drainage to make sure there's no mud anywhere. And now there's none. In the springtime, you come up here and you're like, oh, it's so nice. It's just, everything is just shedded off and dry. There's no muckiness. There's no puddles. I love it. So anyways, we're at the deck here, and this is a floating deck. So it's basically floating on 2 logs. So I had a tree, this tree here, and I took it down and I split the log in half just as is, kept the bark on it and everything. Actually, except on the bottom. I'll explain that in a minute. So what we did was we took the log, and this here is our cardinal point. This is the point we lasered everything to, but we scraped down to the undisturbed ground, basically undisturbed mineral ground with no organics in it or anything with the mini excavator. And this is actually the dam of the pond. The water will actually flow through here as it spills over in the spring melt, but it won't get anywhere near the dam. It'll only get a few inches higher than it is right now. But we built up 4 pads basically with rocks, with big boulders, which I have no shortage of here, and sand, and then laid that log right down on top of it. I actually don't even think we scraped the bark off on the bottom. No, I don't think we did. Laid it right on rocks and then kind of packed these pads out with big boulders and sand. And then eventually at the end, we just kind of superficially covered them up with more rocks and drain rock. But what we did is we started with this point, we packed down a big area, lasered it, and then tried to build up all the other areas close to it. And then because when we put the log on, because the logs aren't perfect shape, we had to be within 6 inches so that when we went to the next step of the deck, we could do all of our modifications from there. So what essentially we did was we knocked down this log, and I'll show you a shot of me reaching underneath. You can see a bit better. But once we had the logs laying down and within 6 inches lasered to each top, we bought TGIs. I bought 20-foot TGIs, the I-beams. They were the 9 3/4 engineered, basically. And we ran them as spanning the 2 logs. And we used a chainsaw to notch in every place the TGI sat. And actually what we did was, once we got our spot level for where the TGI was going to sit in there, and then it was screwed in, we took the chainsaw and ran like this over the log so that water will always drain away from where the wood is in contact with the other wood. And so that's what we did. And we basically got all those TGIs along here, and then laser leveled each one. And then we built the deck. We just put the decking on. And then this is rim board that goes all the way around. That was just rough sawn rim board that I got from a local mill, and fir actually, which is what all the trees are here, except there's some cedars down here by the water and some aspens. But yeah, that's what we did. And so we got this beautiful hangout area where we can come down, and we're eventually I'm gonna build a sauna here. I'd hope to do that this summer. It's on a list of important projects that I want to get done, but it's already July and I'm going, oh my goodness, where does the time fly? But I do want to build a sauna here so that we can basically do ice baths in here in the winter. That's what I really, really want to do. So hopefully we'll do that. But yeah, this is what we're calling Elderberry Park. And it's just beautiful. We had some friends come and play some music here last weekend. And yeah, it's just a beautiful place that we're just hanging out a lot in. There's no bugs in here right now, mosquitoes, which is there normally would be. By 6 o'clock, you'll start to get a lot of mosquitoes in here. But one thing I've done actually, and perhaps I can show you right now, is I have a little strategy on how I'm keeping the mosquitoes from gestating in this pond, and it is this little deal here. So I've got water lines all over here. I've got a main line. It's all dug under, and I ran a sprinkler. So this sprinkler comes on. It basically runs 12 hours a day in increments over 24 hours. And so it'll run for 3 hours and then not run for 3 hours, and so on and so forth. And all I'm doing is pumping water, because I have water pumping through this area anyways. I have my main line, which goes out to my gardens, all comes on the low side of this road because it comes through our watershed there, up from the cisterns up there, and it comes through here anyway. So it was bypassing. So all I did was tee off here, and bring water down here. And that's what I've got, a little station here. I've got a I've got a little shower over here so that when you get out of the beach area here, you can just rinse your feet off by just turning that on. Or, you know, when you come out of the sauna and you want to have a cold shower or something like that, and I've got a little other spigot there. So I've kind of plumbed water to all of this. And yeah, this sprinkler is very effective. Like the mosquitoes right now in here or in this area would be way worse if I didn't have this. And I noticed significantly a difference in the amount of mosquitoes once I started running this, because they just can't settle on the water. And it keeps it all beautiful clear because it keeps pushing all the debris to the edge. And then I've got a little pool cleaner thing that I just go around and scoop it up on the outside. And yeah, that's Elderberry Park. So it's a little beautiful space, but this is 2 acres and it took us months of chipping away at. The brush in here was so thick, you couldn't even walk through here without being really uncomfortable and just pushing through, you know, copious amount of brush. But we took down a lot of trees in here too, just a lot of nasty snags and dead trees and whatnot. And there's still some that I will take down, but this area is unbelievable. Like at this time of day when it's so hot outside and you need a break, you come in here, I take a little dip in the pond, and completely rejuvenated and ready to start the next half of the day. So I'll leave it there for this one, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Smash the like if you liked it, share with your friends, and I'll see you in the next one.